I have in my hand here the final invoice from Top Dental for all of the implant work that I had done in the last 5 months, and in about 7 seconds I'm going to tell you all about it.
Hey! Roger! Oh, Rocket Chick Roger! Hello there!
So as I said, I'm going to tell you about my experience with Top Dental and what it cost me to get my implants done. I'm finally able, after 5 months, able to do a video for you folks with a full mouthful of teeth. I started this back in May when I came here. The second week that I was here, I went and saw Top Dental, Dr. Victor Carreno. I've already done a video about Top Dental. You can see it, it's been a couple months ago since I did the first one. Now that everything's done, I want to tell you what we did and how much it cost me, and how I feel about it all, and all that good stuff. It started off when I went to him. I had a denture, an upper denture that I wore. Well, actually, it spent more time in my pocket than it did in my mouth. I hated that thing. After months of research and talking to references and talking to other people, I chose Top Dental before I even came here. Going to Top Dental and getting this implant work done was the primary reason for me coming to Manta. I have plans to go to Cuenca next month and visit there, and I may come back here and may not. I don't know for sure. But anyway, that's not what this is about. This is about this this dental procedure I had done and how much it cost me, and I'm going to share it with you. So I opted for, when I went in, originally when I went in, I wanted to have a snap-in denture. So that means that I would had to have had implants put in the upper palate, and then have a denture made with the little Teflon posts on them. I think it's Teflon, I'm not really sure about that, but anyway, it doesn't matter. The denture would just snap in, and which means that I'd still be able to remove it, which probably was not ever a good thing. But that was the original plan. So I went in and we did the initial surgery. It went really smooth. This is the first time I've ever been to a dentist where after we finished the surgery, he says, okay, you need to stand up, I need to give you a couple shots. And he gave them to me in my hip. One was for pain and one was for inflammation. And I'd never had a dentist in the States ever give me a shot with an actual hypodermic needle in my body other than in my mouth. Excuse me. It's early in the morning and I'm having coffee. We did the surgery, and the surgery went well. We had to do a lot of grafting. We had to do a lot of bone grafting because I had a lot of bone loss on this side. And so the surgery took about 3 hours, I think. I have to say that the worst part about the whole surgery was the thought of having that needle stuck in the roof of my mouth, where he had to anesthetize the whole upper palate. Well, he anesthetized my whole face, basically, but yeah, there was a bit of a little stress of sticking that needle in there, but I made it okay. And then the second worst part was the stitches. I had 21 stitches in my upper palate that I had to wear for a whole week. And that was not fun. And those sutures were not the kind that dissolved. They were, can't remember what he told me they were made out of, but they were solid, and they irritated my tongue and caused me all kinds of discomfort. But I got through that too. We had some issues with one of the implants when he sewed the tissue over the implant, I kept chewing on that side, and the actual bottom of the implant was actually sticking through the tissue. And we thought we were going to have to do a skin graft, which would have meant to go inside, take skin off the roof of my mouth and sew it over this. And man, I didn't want to have to go through that. So fortunately, Dr. Carreno just said, don't eat on that side, stay off of, stay away from hard foods and don't eat on that side. And that's what I did. And I saved myself having to go through that additional costs and misery. All in all, everything went really well. After 4 months of waiting for the bone to bond to the implants, then I had to have the posts put in. And he put those in, and then I had to wear these, he called them healing caps, over those posts. And at that time, he started taking impressions and getting a good idea of what a denture was going to, how it was going to fit and how it look, and analyze my bite and all that kind of good stuff. So once we did the initial impressions, we got a good idea of what my fit was going to be like and what my bite was going to be like. We had a lot of discussions about the difference between a 4-on-1, and I'm saying 4-on-1 fixture system as opposed to a 6-on-1. A 6-on-1 would have been probably better for me because I would have had 12 teeth instead of 10, but I didn't have enough bone back here to do a 6-on-1 implant system without having to do a sinus lift and more surgery, and I didn't want to go through that. So I ended up settling for the 4-on-1 and getting the 10 tooth fixture that I would snap in and out of my upper palate. Because of the fact that the 4-on-1 is probably not as strong as a 6-on-1, we decided to upgrade to a little better system, and that entails not having a snap-in system, but having a system that's permanently affixed to the post. And that's what I ended up doing, and that cost me more money. I now have a 4-on-1 system, and I have, instead of having a upper denture or an upper removable bridge, I have a permanently implanted bridge that's attached to the 4 posts that are implanted in my upper palate. And this is much better. It costs me more money, but I can't take it out. There's no need for me to take it out. I go in every 6 months and let Dr. Carreno take it out and clean everything and then put it back in. And that's the way it's going to be the rest of my life. So anyway, here's what the cost came out to, and I will be happy to answer any questions if anybody wants to contact me via email. I'll put the email address in the description like I always do, and feel free to contact me. But the total cost on all this was $8,000. It cost me the implant surgery, upper jaw, 4 implants. They're $800 a piece, so that was $3,200. That was the surgery and the implants to put in. $3,200, okay? And that's what I paid when I first came here. To finish that and had put in the removable snap-in, snap-out denture, that would have been, I think, another $1,500. That's what it was going to cost. Because what the original plan was to build a temporary denture that I would have worn during the last 5 months. But since I had all this bone grafting done, I couldn't use my original denture, and I didn't want to pay for a temporary denture because we weren't sure really if it wasn't going to work or not. So I ended up just not having one, and that's why all my videos in the last 5 months have been with no teeth. But since I decided to upgrade, I upgraded to, he told me the best of the best. I got an implant crown. It's a 10-piece bridge over 4 implants. includes the 4 multi-unit system. That's $500 a tooth. That's what it breaks down to, and that was $5,000. So, you do the math. I said $5,000, but he gave me a $200 discount for as a birthday present. My birthday was the 10th of this month, and that's the day that we put the final teeth in, and he gave me a $200 discount. So anyway, total cost on that was $4,800, and then the other $3,200. That makes $8,000. The last dentist that I talked to in the United States wanted $28,000 to do this, and that's assuming that we don't have any complications whatsoever. $28,000. $20,000. I could buy a nice car for the difference between what it costs there and what it costs here, and I have absolutely no concerns whatsoever about the quality of this work and the fixture, the denture. It's porcelain over metal. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to break it. It's going to be, I can now eat a sandwich I can bite a sandwich instead of tearing it apart. The only thing that I have to get used to is I have to get used to having this thing in my mouth that I haven't had for 5 months, but I'm getting used to it now. But that's it, folks. That's, $8,000 for a full 4-in-1 permanently implanted denture system from Top Dental here in Manta, Ecuador. I highly recommend these people. I'm going to put all their contact information in the description below. A lot of people come here and just do dental tourism, and they come here and have their dental work done. There's been a couple people that have seen my channel and came here and had their dental work done, and they went back home just to save the money. Even when you pay for airfare and hotel and stuff, you save thousands of dollars. If you have major work that needs to be done, you'd be crazy enough to do this. And then you get to visit this beautiful country, Ecuador. And if you're really lucky, you get to meet me and have breakfast with me. So, with that, thanks for watching.